Hi, welcome back to My Mom Life. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Jordan, and today we're making homemade coffee cake. So here are all of her ingredients to make this coffee cake. I'm going to start off with a box cake mix. I have a yellow cake mix here. You're going to need 3 eggs, some vanilla extract, some sour cream, and then I have some milk and some oil, just some like vegetable oil or canola oil will work, whatever you have. And then for the streusel topping, I have some all-purpose flour, as well as some brown sugar, cinnamon. I have some vanilla extract, and then I have 2 sticks of butter that I have cubed up, and we want to keep this cold until we're ready to make the streusel. So to start, I'm going to make the cake part of this coffee cake. I'm going to put my box cake mix in a bowl and add in all of my ingredients and mix it up. It's really that easy. This is going to be a really loose cake batter, but it will bake up. I promise. It makes a really moist coffee cake. This is a really good recipe. I've kind of tweaked it over the years. I make coffee cake a lot. My family loves it. So I added in the eggs, the milk, the vanilla extract. I'm just going to throw it all in, the oil, and then the sour cream. And then we are going to mix this together. I'm going to use my hand mixer just to make it a little bit easier to combine. On the back of the box cake mix, it always recommends that you beat it for a couple of minutes. And so I kind of do that here with this until I get a silky like texture or consistency. You'll see here when I'm done beating it with the mixer, but it just makes a really smooth batter when you beat it for about 2 minutes. You could totally do this by hand though. You don't need your stand or your hand mixer if you don't want to. After 1.5 to 2 minutes, my batter is super silky smooth, so I am done. I just went around the sides just to make sure that I had everything incorporated really well. And then I'm going to pour this batter into a greased 13 by 9 pan, and then I'll set that aside and we'll make the topping. I have my oven preheating to 350 degrees, by the way, so that will be ready to go once our cake is assembled and ready to go in the oven. So to make this streusel topping, you're going to combine all of your ingredients. It's super simple. This does make a lot of the topping, but I like a coffee cake with a big, thick layer of that streusel on top. I think that it is almost the best part, to be honest. So if you wanted to cut this part of the recipe in half, you could, but I recommend making it this way because it just gives it a lot of that streusel topping on top, and it's just so yummy. So I'm going to mix my flour and cinnamon and brown sugar, and then I will add in the vanilla and the butter. I'm using a pastry cutter to mix this together. You could use a fork if you wanted to. I just have one of these pastry cutters or blenders, pastry blenders, whatever they're called. And they come in handy when you're doing things like this. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut the butter in, which means I'm looking for the butter to kind of break down and become little tiny balls, like about pea-sized, and that just lets you know that you are done cutting the butter in when you see those little tiny balls of butter in there. So I'm trying to show you, you can kind of see that there's little tiny pieces of butter there, and that is what I was looking for. So now I'm going to go ahead and pop this streusel topping on top of our cake, and then we will throw it in the oven. This is going to bake for quite a while because the cake batter has so much moisture in it that it just takes longer to bake. With the sour cream and the oil and the milk, it just is going to take a little bit longer than it would if you were just making the cake like you were on the box directions. So It's going to take about 45 minutes, maybe even 50. And when that is almost done baking, I'm going to go ahead and combine some powdered sugar, half and half, and cinnamon to make a little drizzle to go on top. Not really a full-on glaze, but I just kind of drizzle it on top. It's pretty and it tastes good. So I added just some powdered sugar, cinnamon, and half to a bowl, and I whisked it together. And it was pretty thick, so I added a little bit more half and half to get the consistency that I was looking for. You can make like a cream cheese glaze if you wanted to, or just a powdered sugar glaze without the cinnamon. I just do it different every time, really. So I'm going to get this glaze done, and then I'll put it in a Ziploc bag so that I can pipe it on top. I'm going to put it in a Ziploc bag so that I can control the drizzle, but you don't have to do that. You can just drizzle it on top if you want, or you could even spread a thin layer over the entire cake. So I'm going to set this aside, and once my cake is out of the oven, I'm going to let it cool for a little bit, and then we will put this on. Here is my coffee cake out of the oven. It's golden brown around the edges. You can see it kind of splits in the middle like that. It's totally fine. It's just the cake trying to rise with that heavy streusel on top, but it turns out totally fine. It's delicious, and that drizzle on top will make it look pretty, don't worry. So I go around the edges with a little spatula while it's super hot, just to make sure it doesn't stick to the side when I go to cut it and get a piece out of the pan. And then I am going to go ahead and drizzle some of that cinnamon glaze on top. And that's it. This coffee cake is so yummy. I highly recommend this recipe. I will write it out for you in the description box. I really make this all of the time, and my family loves it. You can make it your own, like I said, by making different glazes and adding different flavors to this even if you wanted to. You don't have to do cinnamon. You could add nuts to this. You could add chocolate chips to this. Totally make it your own. So I hope that you liked this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. I hope you subscribe and stick around. I make all kinds of food related content, some mom content. And if there's anything that you're wanting to see from me, leave me a comment and let me know. I would love suggestions from you guys. Thank you for watching, and I will see you on my next one. Bye guys.